Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream of Tabletop Junkie, and I'm your host, Tabletop Junkie. Of course, this is not one of our usual streams that I do. This is a different stream because I've actually become fascinated with the classical series Planet of the Apes. And today, you could guess which one we've got to do next. The Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Now, we are going to start with, there's a bit of a spoilers here. We are going to talk about how pretty much the movie has progressed and, how much I really, really liked it. So, the movie kind of like reenacted things from the very first film of Planet of the Apes, which was the original Planet of the Apes film. It was a set of astronauts landed on a planet in the water. However, in the first film, there was nobody that came to anyone's rescue. However, these astronauts had people come rescue them. The military came and rescued them and thanked them for being, practically national heroes. But little did they know, once the helmets were removed, that they were the apes from the first two films. The famous ape characters as well as with one additional ape character that was not in the first two films. They were immediately taken into a facility to be studied, as that people were not for sure why they looked, mostly human. So they went and studied them and found out that they ate like normal humans, and they weren't even human at all. They were apes. They did ended up putting them in a cage with another ape, or next to another ape, which ended up killing one of the other apes from the future. There's a bit of a spoiler right there. They did find out, and it was shared by the lead ape scientists that studied Earth's history, that humans were the dominant race on Earth, and that they were from the future of that Earth while they were somehow drifted into the past. In the second movie, a bomb was launched and the world was said to have ended, but the shockwave actually opened up a portal or sent them through so fast backwards in time, or so fast through space, that they broke the space-time barrier and broke the space-time continuum and traveled to the past. Finishing the loss of one of their fellow ape scientists, the apes were eventually released and treated like normal people, as that they could speak like normal people. Many of the human beings did have some issues with this because, well, they were apes and they were said to be from the future, which time travel is said to be impossible. Whereas the apes from the first film said that flight was impossible. Flight was not impossible in the past, but, time travel was only theoretical. So, without going too much further into it, scene by scene, they did share a few scenes where you get to see the apes being treated with hospitality, being hospitable. Basically, they got to go to parties, they got to talk about themselves. And one guy made it his mission to find out what the true apes were, basically purpose was in the future, as that he did find out that the Earth ended and he wanted to do nothing more than stop it. Well, he did find out that the apes did overtake the planet, did become the dominant source, while humans were kept as pets in the future. He did not settle well and became the movie's villain, at which we went through a few series of them being tortured, finding out that the female ape that was the, in the spacecraft was actually pregnant as well, having a baby, and that they did eventually save the baby while killing another fellow ape that was actually not, that was taken from the zoo. She swapped out the baby from the zoo with her baby to save the baby's life and give it a chance, to survive. Overall, with the pace of the film, I think the pace of the film was a bit quicker than the first two. With the pace of the film, the dramatic touches, the edge of the seat, I'd have to give this one. I can't give it a higher one than 8 out of 10. I think the other two I gave 8 out of 10s. I'm going to give this one another 8 out of 10. I can't give it higher. The pace was a lot quicker. But I would like the bases to be a lot quicker too, and it wasn't. So, due to the lack of the lore from the first two films, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It did keep my expectations. It didn't exceed my expectations, but it did keep my expectations going. And, I just do like the classical film. Okay, I do apologize for stopping. Apparently, I did get a disconnectivity. I am experiencing internet issues for some strange reason. And I'm not sure as to why. I may have to check that out. But in case you guys did miss what I said, because went through a disconnect and a reconnect. The the next film that I'm gonna have to watch is Conquest of Planet of the Apes. I think it's Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I'm not sure. I know it's Conquest Planet of the Apes. I don't know if there's of the or from or Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Now that makes sense. Where it would actually continue the story of the main female apes character's child. So I am looking forward into moving forward with that. Well, I don't really have anything else to say at this point other than keep a tight watch on my Twitter account. My Twitter account is shared into the description of my videos. I do have Star Trek coming up tomorrow. We are having a Star Trek Adventures actual play, Episode 1, The Project, where me and two of my co-hosts are going to be playing Star Trek Adventures. We do have... I will not release any of the characters' names until we actually get close to doing that. Until we get closer, we will be doing it in stream, but I will not be doing any spoilers at this time. So tomorrow we are starting. I believe everything is fine until I get a different change. We are starting 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. That is 7:30 Central Time Zone, and I believe that is 5:30 Pacific Time Zone, which would make it 6:30 Mountain Time. If I'm wrong on those time zones, I do apologize, but basically it'll be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. So figure out where you are in relation to the Eastern Time Zone. Put it in your own time zone. Do that. There's plenty of apps. There's clock apps out there you could use. So yeah, I guess try that. I mean, there's really not much else I can say on that matter. So well, we do have some good things coming up. We're going to be doing most games. The games are just going to be a treat. I've been able to. I've just migrated over to a new program that I successfully think I've worked out everything I need to do with it. We are about to see how this works out here in a minute. We don't really have anyone in the chat. I do think for anyone who has tuned in or will be tuning in into the near future, if you do like my video, please leave a like and subscribe. Keep an eye on my Twitter account. I do have, on my Twitter, I do post a lot of things on my schedule there. And I will definitely be moving forward with that on what is going to come up next. And like I said, tomorrow is Star Trek Day for us. We are going to be celebrating Star Trek Day. The original pilot episode was planned to come out September 6, 1966, or was in full-fledged swing to come out. And then what ended up happening from there is it did come out September 8th, 1968. September 8th, 1966. The pilot episode of the original series. So we are, no matter what, we're going to do it tomorrow, because whether it's the 6th or the 8th, we're going to do it on the 7th, and we're going to celebrate Star Trek with our own Star Trek Adventures game. Well, without further ado, this is Tabletop Junkie telling everybody thank you for tuning in, and game hard, play hard, work hard, everybody, game on. Have a great and wonderful night.